lovely viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Book Review Show with me, Caroline Owusu Asamoah. Before you turn off, are you a CEO? Is your business failing? Are you confused about the kind of image you're creating about your business? Well, then tonight, the book for review is for you. CEO Branding, written by the one and only BKC, also known as Bernard Kelvin Clive, the branding headmaster. He's with me in the studio, and we're going to discuss everything branding. So he's with me, and let's roll. Good evening, BKC.
Good evening.
Nice to have you.
Pleasure.
Great. Well, we all know you're an author. We all know you do publishing, but aside that, what else do you do?
Okay, on the lighter side, or most used to, I'm a dad.
And I'm a mom.
Awesome. So we raise kids in a godly way. All right. So aside authoring, and I do coaching and training, so corporate training and private trainings in terms of branding, digital publishing. Um, these are fields I train or people through, and also managing social media, that kind of thing. Anything regarding branding, both digital, online, offline stuff. And yeah, so I write for fun basically and to share stuff. Yeah, and at the tail end there's money, so it's important. So both for profit and both for impact. So we need both. Yeah, to enjoy the simple everyday life. Basically, this is how I've been living.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's how he has been living. But it's the book review show. We are discussing CEO branding. I know thanks to digitization and COVID, things have been pushed virtually. Okay. I mean, how has that affected you, or how has that helped you coming this far?
Okay, so about a decade plus ago, when I published my very first book, I went on a journey to digitize all my content. So my personal brand, my books, everything was digital. Then I had my books both in ebook, in print, in apps, in whatever form you can think of digital, even in audio, back 10 years plus. So my idea that I saw the future would be more digital than having more print books. Indeed, it's happened.
Yeah.
So it didn't come as a shock to me or surprise to me. It's that I've seen it as an opportune time to keep on trumpeting the thing that I believe in, and has become a good time for people to write books and read books. Survey states that a number of people are now reading more books, and even more people are writing more books than ever before. So we're looking at the good side of the pandemic or the COVID, that it's a great time for authorship, to have books and to get people devour content, to inspire, encourage, and direct them. And I believe it's awesome.
Wow, that's an eye-opening. I mean, this is just the intro, so we can imagine what we have for you. Now, you've authored, things about branding. You have a podcast. I mean, everything about you is branding. You wrote Rebrand, and I mean, in the past when you came on the show, you talked about branding, but this book is CEO branding. Why CEO branding? Because didn't you feel that maybe there are more other powerful or big books about CEO? If I write this, will it really be noticed?
Okay, so the thing is that for authors or the things that I do, I believe firstly that what I do is more of a calling than just trying to fit in the masses or play by the game of people. And for the study that I've done over the past years, I realized that CEOs, top executives, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs are people we relate with. And they position themselves as a good brand, help and enhance their businesses. So I decided to write content for such people like you and I. You are championing your own cause, and you need to brand yourself properly. People have been doing that, but need to do it properly. So this content serve as a guide to help people in such positions as leadership, CEOs, top executives, to pay attention to their brand, then use that as leverage to help their business to grow for both profit and impact. So that's the essence for producing such a book.
Okay, so when we look here, we can see CEO branding, the new art of personal branding for profit
An
and
impact.
impact. I mean, I love that tagline. Now, let's look at branding and what branding is not.
Okay.
I know for the sake of the new audience, because people still don't know when we talk about branding, everybody thinks it's having a sticker, having your name, having this photo shoot, like a professional photo just on your profile, and it ends there. But what exactly is branding? And then we chip in, we dive into CEO branding.
Okay, so what I normally say that everybody has a piece of what they believe is branding, and that's fine. Like some believe is colors, other thing is logos, other thing is outfits, the way you present. All these are parts of branding, because in a nutshell, branding is about perception, what people perceive to be. So, in a definition, I define branding as the ability to constantly create a perception in the mind of your audience or market that there's no product or service like yours that meets their needs and wants. I'll pick it again. So it's the ability to constantly, keyword is constantly, to create a perception in their minds that there's no product or service like what you are producing. And that product is meeting their needs and also wants, not just needs and wants. Some products are just for fun, the fun of it, to entertain. So if you consistently create that perception that this product is what they need to make them happy, to help them solve their problem, whatever, that is what you are branding. So in their minds, they see that, okay, if I need a fuzzy drink or something, I should go for this kind of drink because they make me feel whatever. If I need this kind of, yeah, right. So you get it. So these things trigger some emotional connection or feeling or perception in the minds of people. So when you do that, you created a brand. And key thing about branding is about differentiation. So without differentiation, you have no brand. So if it's same or similar, you have no brand. So your brand is, you need to distinguish yourself, your product from the other product. Stand out so that people can recommend, they can see you and they want to, patronize your goods and services. So key thing, brand, if you forget everything, is about differentiation, and the tail end is about value driven. So it's not about the name. The names are important. The logos, the colors, the outfits, all of that is important. But the bottom line of your brand is, what value are you bringing to the marketplace? And if you know the value you're bringing, look at how can I do this distinctively. Then you have a brand in the minds of your consumers, client, customers.
Wow. So what value are you giving to the people? It's not just about wearing a nice outfit. Because I realized, I've been following you for some time, and it's still branding. You keep doing branding, and it hasn't changed. Because if it was somebody else, 2016 it will be branding, 2017 it will be cement, 2018 it will be something else. But that consistency, that when they mention, because when I see something branding, church branding, Mr. Clive is there. CEO branding, Clive is there. How to present yourself in an interview, how to brand yourself, Clive is there. So when it comes to CEO and branding, a lot of people have a misconception about who a CEO is. Some people feel, okay, somebody who owns 2 or 3 businesses or has 3 employees. You go to people's timeline on Facebook, CEO of Mekonda and Cheo, something. But who is a CEO, and how should a CEO brand himself? What's the importance of it?
So a leader or a person who mans an organization largely is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, or what I sometimes say, Chief Encouragement Officer. So that somebody who leads an organization, it could be 1 or 2, 3 people under that control the affairs of the business. Now the thing is that people buy into people before their product and services. So we buy into your vision before whatever you're selling. So using a CEO branding approach is that the organization leader uses a style of leadership, his expertise, his strategies to drive home the message of the business so that he can get clients and customers to patronize the goods and services. And the truth is that all of us attract a level of have a level of influence and we attract a level of people. But when you're able to amplify who you are, you get a lot of people into your circle. So if the CEO package him or herself well, he attracts a kind of audience that ordinarily advertisement and promotion will not bring in. A survey I did last 2 years on just social media, just interacting with friends on social media, those who man their own businesses, whether solopreneurs and large organizations, a number of them said that about 70% of the business that come through the organization come through them.
Wow.
Because I know Caroline, if I have anything regarding bookshop or something, I want to refer them to you. So because whom they know you. So they see you when you position yourself too well, visibly in all that you do, you attract audience. Marketing advertisement will not even bring you this kind of audience. I don't want to mention some names that I know to promote them, but their brand brings them a lot of businesses because how they present themselves digitally, online, offline. So this is the concept of CEO branding. So how you do that will bring you leads into your business so that you don't leave certain leads or just to go. You package yourself.
If it's wrong,
it's bad, yeah. It's going to impact your business. Yeah, and that's the downside to not doing it well. It's going to harm your business as well.
Okay, so let me tell you some reasons we have to get the book. We are looking at some things we are not going to finish or exhaust, so we have to get the book to buy. The book discusses what is personal branding, the damaging effects of ignoring your personal brand, the benefits of personal branding, 4 pillars for building your personal brand from scratch. You have to get these 4 pillars, buy the book. Discovery, self-discovery, skills acquisition, clarity, your vision statement, publicity. I mean, chapter 3 now focuses on what CEO branding is, why CEO branding, benefits of CEO branding, the caveat to CEO branding. Chapter 4 talks about how to start a side gig. Charlie, we all need that, so stay tuned. Now, let's look at how to brand ourselves as CEO. I know some, I've read the book, and I've acquired some, but let's pitch to the people out there. Let's brand ourselves for them to get the book.
So a couple of ways. Let's pick one of them. One is, people love to follow those with vision. So that's one of the things that a leader can do is to drive vision. Your ambition will drive people to follow you. So that if a leader says, we're going to do X, Y, Z, it raises, tension, get people to follow such a leader. So one, you can use your vision to drive, to build your CEO brand. Okay, you're going to build the largest whatever in the nation. Or let's look at a case study like Dubai, their leader. He had a vision. So using that to drive a whole small place, people think it's a country and all that, just to package them well. So he had a great vision. So number one, your leader's vision. Your vision comes with your leader's voice. Voice here doesn't mean your audible voice as I speak. So how you present your message to the people. How are you charismatic? Are you quiet? The way you present your message will get people in. Like I mentioned, we all attract our kind. So your leader's vision, you could build around a brand around that. Package it, let people know this is where we're going. If you follow me, I'll take the organization from A to B, or in the next 5 years, this is what we're building. You make it clear, as you say, make the vision plain so that you will run with that bridge. So people come to see such, I want to be part of this vision. I want to be part of this organization because they had a great vision. Then you move on to other parts of the building your CEO brand is now that you have a vision for the organization. Most importantly, your personal mission statement should be in sync with the organization. So that, personally you want to do this, but the organization want to go this way. It doesn't help. So, I love people, so I want my NGO or charity focus on this kind of. Personally, too, it's in that line.
That doesn't mean that you cannot detach your brand identity from your personal identity, or it ends somewhere.
Okay, so the question is detaching your personal brand from the corporate brand.
Yeah.
So it's that you can do that because ultimately the organization need not to run on it doesn't need to hinge around you. It's also cause the organization may fall because if you're out of the scene, you need to run. But most importantly, when you build structures, so though it seems to be all around Richard Branson, but there are structures that if he's out of the scene, the organization shall move. Okay, if Steve Jobs is not there, there are structures and systems in place. Though he's available, he drives. If he's not in the scene, so you build systems and structures so your organization can run without you. But initially, most startups, you are the brand ambassador and the face of the organization. That's why it's important to pay attention to your CEO brand because you bring in the business, you bring in the client, so you build solid structures which might not need to hinge around you. Then your organization can stand without you or stand without you.
Because I know, I mean, a lot of people haven't thought of this SEO branding. Many people focus on, pushing the organization to the end, then their lives are something else. So they don't know that indirectly how they live their lives.
Impact.
Let me even talk about pastors, especially.
Right.
Because if a pastor's brand or his appearance out there isn't good, I mean, no matter what, people are not going to come to the church because it's going to be a terrible, I think, sort of misinformation. All right. So now, one thing that leaves my mind is we are entering the digital age, or we've already entered.
Yeah, we are.
Already in the digital age, and I know some brands, they don't really, I don't know how to say it, whether their branding is sort of silent or but it's powerful. And a particular kind of people just go, they don't do marketing. You don't see them marketing. I don't want to mention names, but they don't market themselves. I don't really see them everywhere like how I see some things everywhere, but they still thrive. Is it a form of branding we don't know about?
Okay, so the thing about branding doesn't mean everyone should know about you. The right people should know about you. So let's pick a ordinary village or community. If there's a very good carpenter there, and the people in the community doesn't know there's a carpenter there, the person is losing business. So his service is to the people in the community. So I didn't know to go to the next community or village to find a good carpenter. If they can't find you there, you are losing your market. So the other communities might not know about you, but that's fine. So you don't need to be loud to be a brand.
Then that means you have to know yourself because I find people copying, you've not yet reached a global, you can't give global services yet, but you want to go out there and your brand is telling people that we can provide global service, but you can't. So
they are using fake it till make it approach, which I don't buy into that. So the fact that you need market doesn't mean you need to do everything for the market. Okay. So you need to be everywhere, but be everywhere that your clients and customers are. So that's the point. Be where your clients and customers are, where they need you most, where your service is needed most. If not, you are in the wrong place. You are making loud noise without impact. So that they are great people, CEOs, their brand is speaking for them, but they are not loud. The fact that they are not loud on social media doesn't mean they are not having impact. There are certain circles and cliques that they have impact. They have influence, their voice speaks, their content speaks. Something about them is speaking. So one CEO might amplify his brand using content, maybe using social media. Another CEO might not use that, might use a different approach. So there are so many ways you can still amplify your CEO brand, not necessarily the same way. Okay. What a CEO might decide to, okay, because I'm charity driven, focus on, I want to be going to tertiary schools to speak to the students because they are my future business. Yeah. So they know them in that level. And when it comes to other fields, they might not know them, but their brand is working for them in that level. So you find ways, channels where you can reach your audience, and that's fine.
Then branding is, it has to do with a lot of planning, strategic thinking, because people get up and then they just, create their accounts, they do this, they do that. And I'm really glad you have to get this book because it tells you what CEO branding is and what CEO branding is not. So please, BKC is the epitome of branding, and he's telling you that Massa, please get it right. All right, let's continue. So, let me see, page 48, 17 points that make remarkable CEO brand. The brand identity, which we've talked about, the brand's equity, the brand's reputation, the brand's positioning, and then now let's look at you talk about clarity and you mentioned earlier, the character, to connect, courage, command, charisma, creativity, ability to close deals. We talk about that. What does that mean?
So I mentioned that for startups or solopreneurs or most of the organization, you are the indirect brand ambassador. You bring in leads, you bring in business. So if your conversation or whatever you do, digital or offline, doesn't bring in business, you are just making loud noise. So ability to close deals as a CEO is a skill you need to learn so that by the time I finish, I should be able to sell you this book. Okay, in all the loud noise, I should be able to exchange maybe my services for something. That's the bottom line of business. So impact or profits. If it's not, then you're making getting name for name's sake. So whatever we need to survive, sustain our business and brands. So you able to close deals. Okay, I sell digital goods, I sell handmade bags. In my conversation, my social media posts, throughout the week, I should be able to make one sale out of using my brand. If my using, so whatever you do, if you are not closing deals and sales, you are doing it wrong and you need to rework your strategy, either offline or online. So all the colors you have, your t-shirt, your brand, but if it's not bringing in business, then please you might be doing something really wrong. And that's how powerful CEOs do ensure that at the end of the day, am I bringing in leads, bringing clients and customers? That's great. Very good for a business to grow.
Wow, this book is a must read. It's a must read. Now, I know many people are thinking Bernard Clive has, he has made it. He's gotten this far. He's learned a lot. Now, what are some of the mistakes to the CEO, branding ambassadors, or CEOs coming up? What are some of the mistakes that you made? Now you've gotten here, like, I shouldn't have done this, or you've learned along the way.
And so let's take it from one of the points that we raised, that in the beginning, you might want to be everywhere, but don't be everywhere. Choose your platform, choose your strategy. And the second thing is that when you're going digital, don't go digital without a strategy. That's in vain. So am I going to social media? I'm using Instagram, I'm using TikTok. Why? What is the strategy behind it? How will I reach out to my audience so that you don't be doing the same thing? The third thing is that branding is about differentiation. And one of the ways you need to be different is to be creative. So don't do the same thing as people are doing. Try to do different things. And let me pitch this indirectly. If you realize most of my books are of a certain size, I realize the number of authors who come to your shows, let me put it out there, their book sizes are different. They use the standard I mentioned, but that is a way to differentiate my book from the other book. So maybe it might be cover, it might be style, whatever. So you choose your style. So if it's your outfit, how do you want to present yourself visually? That is also speak volumes. Okay, you don't want to use any visual, but how do you want to present yourself audibly? So you choose your style, and the thing is that choose that which will work for you, not because A, B, C, D is doing that you want to do. So copycat brands have a shorter shelf life. Don't try to copy. You can just emulate, learn from them, but pick your own strategy, pick your own style, what that works for you. Even though you become the second of, this is the Ghana, whatever, this is the African, but no, you need to be yourself.
I hate such tags. Maybe they say Ghana's, as you said, and it's wrong being the second of something. You have to be yourself, and you can be the best of yourself.
Right. It might even be imperfect, but that's fine. That's you. Once you're doing the best that you can, doing the right thing, that's fine. So you don't need to try to copy people. You can learn and pick from them. And one critical thing regarding CEO branding and brand, that's most of the time, is that without trust, you have no business. A number of the young people doing great stuff online, offline, are not trustworthy.
Have you heard
So that
trustworthiness?
some will just share things or say things of what they are not just to get a name or the attention of the masses, but they have no value, they have no substance, they can't prove what they have. So it's very important that you need to be trustworthy. If you say that you produce this at this cost, or they see images, they order the product, they get the same thing. So trust is the currency for riches for brands in this age. If you want to stay in it for a long haul, be trustworthy. That will bring you more leads. Because when you're trustworthy, it leads to what one of the great things about brand is word of mouth market. Oh, do you know about Caroline Show? Do you know about this? Because they can trust you and they want to do business with you, they refer people to you.
Wow. So please be trustworthy like us. Okay, wow, amazing how time flies. I'm just enjoying. We have about 5 minutes to go,
Right.
but now you talked about the strategy, resources, and other things in the book, but how expensive is building that brand? Because I know there's a budget, there's a pocket, it has some resources attached to it, but how expensive is it? Is it expensive? Because I know many people feel that if you're on social media, then things will be free.
Fair,
People
well,
share,
same
share, share.
things,
But now there's advertisement. You have to
Yeah.
pay. You have to do this. So how expensive is it? And can I boost my brand without investing, something like that into it?
Okay, so what I tell brands or CEOs or young people or people doing business that see branding as an investment, not as an expense.
Mm.
So you are branding as branding is part of the investment you're making into your business and yourself, the long-term return on your investment.
Yeah.
When you have that understanding, you will then approach branding differently because you might not get the returns instantly. It may take some time. So that's a seed time building your brand. In terms of cost, branding may cost you some money, some time, some energy, and certain things. So it's not just free. You can do some things at a free level, but ultimately you need to pay for certain steps. Sometimes one simple or single advice from an expert will save you tons of money.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to just get maybe a brand coach or something, and a simple advice will save you a whole. You might be doing so many things, but a coach. Great people in life have coaches and mentors. So you need that aspect to help you in your branding. In terms of, I can put a price on tag or maybe okay, you need about X $1,000 or something to build a virtual brand. You can see some figures, but sometimes it's not helpful because we're all unique. One person might use this approach to work for them. We can give you sample rates or some case studies. There are no people. I know a friend who used. I can mention the figure. Used just about $500 to build a successful brand from website to doing some few additions of some strategies and coaching. So there are things you can do, but like I mentioned, you need proper guidance to be able to help you go use the right route to help your brand. So it's not one size fits all. Even though it's no branding, but what you need to understand is going to cost you something. To cost you some money, some energy, some time to consistently do the thing and deliver. Then your brand will begin to grow and soar.
Wow. I mean, I was about to ask a question, but I mean, you've answered everything in it. The questions are a lot. I was going to ask him a lot of questions for you, but I realized, Charlie, if we discuss everything, we are not getting the book. So, Mr. Clive, before your final words, how much is the book? Where can we get it?
Okay, so the CEO branding is just going for 20 cedis
Can you imagine?
or $5 online. So you can just so 20. Either you want the ebook on Amazon or you want the print edition, you can get all of them. If you want online, you can go to my website or go to Amazon or go to Book Nook. You can get my book on any of the sites available.
So now, how long have you been in the branding business? Or
Okay, so I've been doing ushering and speaking, writing for a decade now.
for a decade?
Yes.
So that's the man you have to go to. How can we contact you? Can you give a number and address? And then your final words to those watching who have been consistent about their brand, but it's not bringing in anything.
I wish to throw in this story before I answer. There's a story in the scriptures, and Jesus, the chance on a tree, let me use a fig tree, which was not doing so well, and let me use the modern approach. They say, boys, oh, let's cut it, let's throw this away. And he said to give it one more year, manure it, water it. Sometimes you need a little extra time. Don't be in haste to succeed. So to someone, you need a little extra time. If you're doing all the right thing, extra time. I mean, to watch it again. To others too, you might need to rechange your strategy. If it's not working, relook at the strategy, and what is not working, rework it. So two phases. Either a little extra, maybe you are growing, you are rooting, like great trees go deeper. So certainly you're going to emerge. It takes like a decade or more for brands to reach their ultimate level. So give yourself some time, be patient about that. And the second aspect, if it's really not working, check your strategies, check your audience, and rework that. You can get access to me on my website, bkc.name, or if you forget everything, just Google Bernard Kelvin Clive. You can reach me directly on WhatsApp via 0244 961 That is 0244 96 11 21. Send me a WhatsApp message. Let's communicate. And yeah, we're good to go to share some few ideas and help you, your business and brand.
Wow, thank you so much. It's been, I mean, it's been short but weighty. The brand was right. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I treasure.
Thank you. I like that. It's a pleasure. I treasure. That's one of the things. All right. So amazing how time flies, and I'm so thankful to my guest BKC for coming. The book we've discussed on the book review show tonight is CEO Branding: The New Art of Personal Branding for Profit and Impact. And this is his other book, that's Rebrand. So you can also get a copy. Well, if you're an author out there who wants to have your book reviewed on this platform, you can call 0231 and do also follow our social media pages. We are on YouTube, so please subscribe. If you want a copy of the book, you can also call 0231 for more details. This is the only platform that brings the world to your books and your books to the world. And I'd like to acknowledge this beautiful space given to us by Silhouette Sign Arts. They are into rebranding, they are into branding, they are into design, signages, and many more. They're on Facebook, so you can also check them out. Thank you so much. And thank you too for tuning in. So tune in same time next week. I'm Caroline Owusu Asamoah.